What's really good? We are back with a brand new Pokemon Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. On the squad today, we have Kommo-o, Komala, and Decidueye, so a little bit of a different mix for you guys. And as usual, the team will be in the description for you guys to try it yourselves. Also, this battle is against the Twitch subscribers, so Twitch is actually the best place to catch me if you do want to battle me. I see a lot of challenges in the comments, but I don't really battle. You know, I don't just go into the comments looking for a battle. I go on my Twitch and stream around 7 p.m. Eastern time is usually when I'll start, or you can just join my Twitch subscriber Discord and you can have an even bigger chance to battle me, or you can just talk to me directly. But without further ado, let's hop into this Wi-Fi battle. We are actually in the abandoned supermarket, and she's gonna lead off with her Gigalith and get sand all over it. Disgusting. But I knew she'd lead off with Gigalith because, you know, I saw the Gigalith on her team, and I'm like, okay, she's probably gonna want to get her rocks as soon as possible, as well as the sand, so she can boost her special defense on that Gigalith. Makes perfect sense. So I actually led off with my Kommo-o, and she stays in here, and I don't blame her because it's very, very hard to kill Gigalith in one hit. But the thing is, Kommo-o doesn't care about any of that. Choice specs Kommo-o with Focus Blast. The one time Focus Blast is ever gonna hit, it actually hits, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you, Kommo-o, for actually hitting the Focus Blast. But I do take out the Gigalith in one hit with the Choice specs Focus Blast, so that's a stab, super effective, very, very powerful Focus Blast hitting that Gigalith. There's no way it's gonna live, even though it is extremely bulky now. But here she's actually gonna switch out to her Tapu Lele, which she probably should have gone out to before, but like I said, I can't really blame her for not switching because there's no way she could have known that I was actually Choice Specs. If I was any other set than Choice Specs, there's no way I would have killed that Gigalith in one hit. So, but at the same time, I could have just gone for the Flash Cannon. I'm not sure if Flash Cannon would have actually killed the Gigalith, but if he had switched in his Tapu Lele to the Flash Cannon, he would have lost his Tapu Lele for no reason. So maybe that's why he didn't switch in his Tapu Lele. Anyways, gonna go out to my Necrozma to take the Psychic. It does a huge amount of damage for a resisted move. Holy crap. Anyways, but obviously he's Choice Specs if his Psychic is doing that much damage to Necrozma, so that's good information for later on. Anyways, he's gonna go out to his Pheromosa as I set up my Stealth Rocks. I'm probably going to lose my Necrozma here, but his main purpose on this team, of course, is to set up the Stealth Rock, so I don't really care that he's going to die to a U-turn or a lunge or whatever this thing's actually going to go for. Bug Buzz, anything, it doesn't even matter. Either way, I'm losing my Necrozma, and if he does go for the U-turn, I'll have Switch Advantage because I'll see the Pokemon that he actually goes out to, as well as, you know, maybe gain some more information on what set it is, because sand is going to hit it, and maybe, you know, if it has leftovers, I'll see that. If it doesn't have leftovers, I'll see that as well. So I might, you know, I might gain some information from my Necrozma dying right now. Anyways, Pheromosa is going to U-turn. Doesn't really matter that he got a Beast Boost because it is going to be switching out here. And she actually decides to switch out to her Meteor, which is pretty cool because in the Psychic terrain, I actually cannot Bullet Punch this thing and just straight up kill it because I do have a Scizor on my team, and I am going to go out to it now. Luckily for me, I'm actually going to be able to take 25% off that thing with a, you know, with the Stealth Rocks, so that's good. But I'm going to go out to my Scizor here. I'm going to just sit in here and Swords Dance until the Psychic terrain is gone, pretty much. I honestly don't have a choice here, but it's not really a big deal. I'm pretty sure I can take an Acrobatics. I'm pretty sure I can take any move this thing wants to throw at me until the Psychic terrain is gone, because after the Shell Smash, the Psychic terrain is actually only going to be up for one more turn. So I'll just sit here and Swords Dance while this thing boosts up and attempts to do damage to me. It's not really a big deal, you know, especially because its shields are still up. If its shields were down, then we might have a problem, but because its shields are up, it's not going to get that boost in attack and special attack that it gets. And I say special attack because it actually turns out that this Meteor is specially based, and I've actually never seen that. I've always seen physical with like Acrobatic, Stone Edge, and Earthquake. That's the standard set. But I've always been interested in the special side, and I was thinking that maybe if this thing is the special one, maybe it gets HP Fire or something, and I was actually pretty scared, but since he had already gone for the Power Gem, it wasn't really a big deal. Also, here, he definitely should have switched right back to Tapu Lele. Honestly, 100%, he definitely should have. I'm not quite sure if his Tapu Lele is carrying HP Fire, but the fact that he has a Tapu Lele means that he definitely should have gone back to it, because that would have shut down pretty much anything my Scizor could have done. Now, I could have U-turned out. I don't know if U-turn would have killed a Meteor with its shields. Actually, probably. At that point, I was at +4. If he doesn't have HP Fire, I guess it makes sense, because if he doesn't have HP Fire and I U-turn his Tapu Lele, it'll die, and she actually can't kill me with anything if she doesn't have HP Fire, at least not from where I am, because I have a ton of special defense on this Scizor. But I don't know, I'm just kind of like theory crafting while I'm commentating the battle. It's kind of weird, but anyways, what happens is I Bullet Punch the Minior, then she goes out to her Garchomp. I barely missed the KO with Bullet Punch, and then I die to a Fire Blast. So that's that. I'm going to go out to Decidueye here because I have Sucker Punch on this thing, and I wanted to just take out the Garchomp, but she actually switches out, tries to save this thing as death fodder for later, and she's going to go out to her Kartana, which was a good move because, like I said, I went for the Sucker Punch, so she might as well switch out to Kartana, honestly. The only thing this thing can do to me is Night Slash or Aerial Ace, so I'm not really too worried about it, so I'm actually going to go ahead and switch out to my Komala. I think Komala can take one of those hits. That's actually how they seem to have balanced Kartana, because its attack is so high, but they didn't really give it any strong moves. So its strongest move is like its own stab moves. Other than that, it doesn't really have too many moves that are high in base power, which is how they kind of let you cope with Kartana. Its attack is super high. If it gets going, you'll probably get swept. But other than that, it's not really too crazy. So I'm actually going to go for the Wish here. Probably should have U-turned in hindsight, because it actually turns out that Pheromosa comes out. And if this thing decides to high jump kick me, I'm just going to lose my Komala for no reason. And because of that, I'm actually going to go for the Protect next turn, just in case this thing does want to high jump kick. If she does high jump kick as I Protect, she will lose 50% of her HP. So I might as well go for it, as well as, you know, getting my HP back from the Wish. And I'm also trying to mind game a little bit here, right? Because if I go for Protect and I see what move she goes for, which actually happened to be Rapid Spin, I don't know. I'm trying to just scout to see what she wants to do. And by me using Protect and me being aware of what move she wants to make, maybe I can make her pick a move that's not favorable in the next situation. But she actually goes for Rapid Spin again. I really didn't think she would. I thought she would think that I was going to switch to my Decidueye immediately, but she actually just goes for the Rapid Spin again. So that's good and bad for me. My rocks are gone now. But at least my Komala didn't die to a high jump kick. Not only that, but I noticed that the Pheromosa doesn't have a life orb, which means that it's most likely choiced, which means that I'm going to be able to get up a free Swords Dance with my Decidueye, which is exactly what I'm going to do. And she's actually going to switch out her Pheromosa immediately because she understands the situation, and she's going to go out to this UB04, aka Kartana. So I'm going to get that Swords Dance up. This thing really can't do much to me. I do have the Z move Sinister Arrow Raid, but I'm actually just going to go for the Spirit Shackle in case I need that for later on. Also, since I'm 100% sure this Kartana is Choice Scarf, I'm actually going to be able to take the hit, go for the Spirit Shackle, and then just finish it off with a Sucker Punch because it can't switch out now, which means that he has to attack me next turn, which means that I actually don't have to waste my Z move on this thing, because since he's not able to escape and he has to attack me, a Sucker Punch is 100% guaranteed in this situation. So I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch here after Spirit Shackling him in, which I thought was pretty cool. I thought I was kind of cool for that. You know, I used the move that made him not able to switch out, and then I hit him with a Sucker Punch when he had to attack me. So I thought I was kind of cool. You know, I thought I was kind of cool for that. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, he's going to go out to his Pheromosa. Not quite sure why, because with +2, I should definitely be able to take out a Pheromosa, because Pheromosa is extremely frail. But she did resist the Sucker Punch, so maybe she thought she could live with, you know, maybe a little bit of HP. But either way, definitely should have gone out to Tapu Lele first, because Tapu Lele is what's going to allow you to stop the priority moves, which is exactly what I'm going to switch out here, because I figured that I might need this thing later on to combat the Tapu Lele. Anyways, gonna go out to Komala here, and my special wall, keep that in mind, my special wall is about to get blown away by this Psychic. Oh my goodness, look how much damage this does. Did at least 60%, so obviously I cannot take another one, not even gonna risk it. Maybe I should have gone for the Protect here just to stall out the Psychic Terrain a little bit more, but I didn't think to do it until now. It's too late, obviously, I've already had the battle. But yeah, this Komala is gone now. So the Psychic Terrain, I believe, is up for 3 more turns. But at this moment, I'm going to go out to my own Tapu Lele, because I don't think she can kill me with a Psychic. So I can kind of force a switch here, because she'll be at a disadvantage if she's locked in the Psychic, especially when the Psychic Terrain wears off. So I'm going to lock myself into Moonblast. I believe we're the same set. We're both Choice Specs Tapu Lele. I'm going to lock myself into Moonblast, like I said. She switches in her Garchomp as Death Fodder, and it's going to take the Moonblast and get KO'd. But her last Pokemon is that Tapu Lele. So at this point, I'm thinking, we both have Tapu Lele's. I have my Kommo-o in the back, and I have my Decidueye with Sucker Punch. So I should probably switch my Kommo-o into the incoming Moonblast, which I 100% thought was coming out here. Just as Death Fodder. I actually switched in this thing to die, but it actually turned out to be the star of the show because of Bulletproof, baby! Shout out to Adele, boy! I was not expecting Shadow Ball at all. I thought she knew for a fact that I had the Kommo-o in the back. Maybe she forgot about its ability. But either way, I don't think Shadow Ball was the play. Yeah, you would have killed my Decidueye and my, maybe my Tapu Lele, but you wouldn't have killed this thing in one hit. No way. This thing is very, very bulky. So I 100% thought Moonblast was the move she was going to use because Moonblast hits everything that I have left. So I was very, very surprised that she went for the Shadow Ball. And I take no damage from Shadow Ball. It doesn't do anything to Kommo-o because of its ability. And yeah, I was definitely surprised. A lot of Pokemon YouTubers trust me. They would have been like, well, I knew she was going to use Shadow Ball, so I switched in my Kommo-o to take it because it has Bulletproof, even though they know damn well they didn't expect the Shadow Ball to come out, man. I'm not going to play that off like I was a genius. That was sheer luck. I don't know why she went for Shadow Ball. But it turns out that the tables turned and Kommo-o won the battle. Let's go. What I had planned to do, I planned to let Kommo-o die, send back out my Tapu Lele, take a Moonblast, give the other Tapu Lele a Moonblast, and then maybe if, you know, if she ended up winning that exchange, I could have cleaned up with Decidueye Sucker Punch when the Psychic Terrain wore off. That's what I planned to do. But it doesn't matter. The battle's done. Bulletproof is here. Once again, shout out to Adele. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll be back tomorrow with another brand new Wi-Fi battle just for you guys. And don't forget to check the description for this team if you want to try it out. See ya!